Hello, welcome to the Healthy Alternatives podcast. I am Dr. Christine Sauer with DocChristine.com. Today's show is a recording of my radio show of the same name. Enjoy! Good afternoon, this is Dr. Christine Sauer, your host of the show Healthy Alternatives, here on 97.5 CIOE FM, with live stream on communityradio.ca every Thursday at 12 noon Atlantic Standard Time. Thanks for tuning in today. My mission for this radio show is to help change people's lives for the better by informing them about different options to get and stay healthy and well, so they can choose for themselves which option might work in their case. And if you feel you are stuck in a dark place, I want to tell you, don't give up. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for you too. I'm often asked to give a bit more in-depth information about different health topics. I'm happy to oblige. For questions or suggestions, feel free to contact me through our website, DocChristine.com. Today, my team member and health coach, Jennifer Gauguin, and I will be talking about gut support, and do we need supplements for gut support, or what do we need for gut support, and what do we really have to look out for?
Some good questions, for sure.
It's so common. So many people suffer from stomach issues, from heartburn, bloating, irritable bowel, inflammatory bowel diseases.
A ton of different ones.
And constipation. And we are learning more and more the importance of the gut microbiome for our health.
Exactly. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Even relates to like our stomach acid in terms of the amount of antacids people take.
Oh, it's
for
amazing.
Heartburn.
It's terrible. And I mean, short term, nothing against it.
No, exactly.
But long-term proton pump inhibitor have so many side effects.
Oh, my goodness.
And really, heartburn is not caused by high stomach.
No, that's
acid.
what people think.
They think
they
it's
have too much acid.
Yeah. And statistics show from actual tests of stomach acid that children have high stomach acid, and as we age after 30, the stomach acid goes down.
That's right.
So most older people have low stomach acid. So why do they have heartburn if it's not the acid?
That's right.
And the reason is that there's a little muscle between the esophagus, our feeding tube, and the stomach. It's called the lower esophageal sphincter.
Okay.
It's like a little ring muscle. And normally it's closed. And that prevents the acid
from coming up. Exactly.
And when there's something wrong with the metabolism, with the nervous system, with the hormones, with the stomach, with medications, with food, this muscle can't function properly because it doesn't work like our anus, that is a sphincter too, that we can contract when we feel like it.
Okay.
It goes involuntarily. It's our vagus nerve.
So it opens and the acid comes up.
It opens normally when we swallow to let the food in the stomach.
Right.
And after the food is in the stomach, it closes. But if we smoke, if we have a lot of stress, if we drink too much coffee, energy drinks, carbon dioxide containing bubble drinks.
Right.
If we have too much pressure in the stomach, constipation, pregnancy, classic.
For sure.
And of course, when somebody's very big, it can all cause too much pressure. And then there's the abnormalities like a hiatal hernia.
Okay.
And in very rare cases, there's actually too much stomach acid a problem.
Okay.
There's a syndrome that's inherited, that was always there. The classic case for proton pump inhibitor, no question about it. But most people don't need long-term acid blocker.
Right.
And there's a simple test to test your stomach acid.
Baking soda test?
Yeah, if you're interested, give us a shout, send us an email. contact me through the website or on Facebook, and I'll send you the sheet how to do it yourself, and you'll find out.
It's really not that bad.
It's easy to do.
It is. It's really easy. I've done it myself a couple of times, so
and it's fun.
And it's amazing because I thought when I did it, I thought, oh my God, you're supposed to just drink some baking soda and water and time how long it takes to burp, and I thought, oh, that's not going to take me very long at all. But it was the opposite. It took a long time. So that's how I knew that I was having a problem. So
no, that's really fascinating. So in your case, you really needed some vinegar or betaine supplement.
Exactly.
Which I prefer vinegar because it's much cheaper, right?
It is cheaper. It is. But for people that don't like, the taste,
drinking vinegar,
exactly, like specifically apple cider vinegar. That I've been told that's the best one to take.
Acid is acid. You can even swallow hydrochloric acid.
Oh my gosh.
Drink a Coke has a lot of acid.
Oh, gosh.
But it has other stuff.
We're not recommending
that. No. No,
but yeah, the betaine you can buy at a health store.
Yeah, and it gets broken down in stomach acid in your stomach. Now, why is stomach acid important?
Well, it breaks down our food.
It breaks down our food. And without stomach acid, we cannot break down protein in its amino acids.
Okay.
And we need amino acids to build our body.
That's right.
So that is often a problem because if we don't have enough amino acids, it's a form of malnutrition, a nutrient deficiency.
Right.
It can cause all kinds of problems, from chronic fatigue to mental health problems to physical problems.
It's amazing how all these problems are linked to gut health.
It is amazing. It really all comes together. I always talk about the triangle, the body, mind, spirit connection.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
For me, the body comes first because I'm a conventional naturopath physician. Other people go from the mental part, which is important, other from the spiritual part. They are all important.
That's right.
So that's important. And then we also need stomach acid to activate the absorption for vitamin B12, the intrinsic factor.
Okay.
Without stomach, it doesn't work. Another very important vitamin that often gets supplemented in the wrong form, and we talked about that in a previous show.
That's right, we did.
And stomach acid also protects us from infections.
Okay.
For example, if we eat something and it contains pathogenic bacteria, if we have enough stomach acid, the acid will kill those Escherichia coli that are in the hamburger that you didn't cook enough.
Right.
If you don't have enough stomach acid, you might get serious complication, end up in the hospital.
That's right, for sure.
In my opinion, it's one reason that food poisoning occurs more serious in older people.
Okay.
It's not just the lower immune system.
Right. Can you explain the difference between, thinking about gut health? Obviously, you think about probiotics. What's the difference between probiotics and prebiotics?
Well, that's an important difference.
Okay.
Prebiotics are food substances that help our gut bacteria function.
Okay.
So they are necessary for the good stomach bacteria to work, like potato starch, resistant starch, unripe bananas are well known.
Okay.
Those, or inulin is often used. Those are prebiotics that our bacteria break down and they flourish on, the good ones. Probiotics are already formed microorganisms.
Okay.
So it's the good bacteria themselves.
Right.
And for probiotics, we'll get a little bit more into it in the second half of the show. It is very important to choose the right strains and the right form.
Right, exactly.
Because if you have enough stomach acid, the bacteria will get killed.
Exactly.
So there's other reasons for stomach problems that we should shortly, in just for a few minutes, touch on.
Okay.
There's, of course, medications that upset our stomach.
That's right.
Classic antibiotics.
Antibiotics, exactly.
And I'm a conventional doctor enough to appreciate antibiotics very much. They save countless lives every day. They are
Oh my gosh.
necessary.
Yes, definitely.
But they destroy our gut microbiome.
That's right.
And afterwards, in normal person with normal nutrition, it normalizes itself.
Right.
Often that is not the case. So if you have persistent problems after taking antibiotics, that is something to look into.
Or if you're taking antibiotics quite a lot throughout a year.
Yeah.
My husband right now is just got a prescription for antibiotics yesterday for a sinus infection. So I told him, I said, you're going to have to double up on your probiotics just to, keep the good gut health.
Really, when you take antibiotics, you have to look for the probiotic, either take it apart.
Right.
Or better take one that is resistant to that antibiotic. For example, I recommend when people get a diarrhea from antibiotics, the best option is to take a supplement containing the probiotic yeast Saccharomyces boulardii.
Okay.
It's a terrible name, but a really great product.
Yeah.
And it works for diarrhea naturally.
Okay.
And it also helps with Candida albicans overgrowth because it is a competition for that yeast and it will help push it out.
Okay.
It's not the all-in-one cure, but it will help it.
Right.
So that's interesting. And I really tell everybody when they travel, take Saccharomyces boulardii.
Exactly.
It's way better for you than Imodium.
Yeah, exactly.
Imodium is good when you're on the airplane and need to stop your bowels right there.
Right.
But if you have food poisoning and you don't want the poison to stay in your bowels.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Imodium paralyzes your bowel. That's how it works.
Okay.
And Saccharomyces boulardii restores it.
Okay.
So at first you will have the diarrhea, so it goes out, but then it stops it within a few hours.
Okay.
Because it neutralizes the toxins and calms the belly back down. It works amazingly. In Germany, you can get it with a prescription.
Okay.
Here, it's a supplement.
Right.
It's not that easy to get. Some doctors, chiropractors have actually probiotics that contain Saccharomyces boulardii. They're pretty good. Or you can get it online. But I think you can get it now more and more in health food stores. It's really good to take with you on vacation.
I'll have to look for that the next time I'm planning a trip.
Yeah, I happen to have some. What else is new?
Exactly.
What I take, I usually sell to.
Right.
Because I believe in it, and that's what
you can vouch for it. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know how it works. I know why it's good. Well, let's close the first half of today's broadcast with that beautiful sentiment. Please tune in after the commercial break for more about gut health with Jennifer Gauguin and myself. And I'm looking forward to talking to you after the break.
Me as well.
Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Healthy Alternatives here on 97.5 CIOE FM or on the web at communityradio.ca. I'm your host, Dr. Christine Sauer, and today my fellow health coach, Jennifer Gauguin, and myself are talking about gut health and what in the second half, we want to talk a little bit about what we can do to fix our gut.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Most of us are suffering from some type of gut problem, or as we talked about in the beginning, like some type of inflammation, bowel issues. So really, what should be your starting point?
Even
When
constipation is a very
yes,
common problem.
exactly.
And the best remedy for constipation, in my opinion, is to take magnesium and vitamin C together.
Right. Okay.
Because they both can be taken in dosages up to bowel tolerance, they
Okay,
say. That
right.
means if you have enough vitamin C, the body gets rid of it.
Right, exactly.
And it causes diarrhea.
Right, which is what you want when you're constipated.
At least a little bit of it.
A little bit, yeah.
And the same happens with magnesium if you take it as a magnesium oxide or magnesium citrate. And we talked about that in our magnesium show.
Right, exactly.
And these two together are very powerful if your kidneys are okay.
Right, of course.
So always ask your doctor before taking supplements.
That's
very
right.
important because we don't want anybody to get sicker.
No, of course not.
Now, we both know that what we eat is very important.
That's right. So, foods rich in
Fiber, like
fiber, of course.
vegetables,
Bran, if you can,
digest wheat, wheat
and
bran,
get it in a
oat
good
bran,
source.
rye bran.
Yeah, exactly.
Even rice bran can be good. Or eat brown rice. It has a bran on it.
That's right.
And you
That's
just
right.
cook it a little longer, add some chicken stock, and it tastes beautiful. It tastes
Exactly.
even better than the white rice.
It does. It does.
And there's no need to buy that instant rice
No,
or
exactly.
instant Minute Maid, whatever it's called. Yes, it's fast, but it's no good for you.
No, definitely not. Not prebiotic.
Prebiotics.
Fermented is what I'm trying to say.
Fermented foods.
That's the word I couldn't
that is
get.
Great. Yeah, I nearly forgot about those. Those are so important.
Definitely for good gut health.
Sauerkraut, kimchi, cultured yogurt that has the right bacteria still in it.
The good stuff.
Because many yogurt is pasteurized after fermentation.
Right.
And if you ferment yogurt after fermentation, you kill the bacteria.
Exactly.
And-
kind of defeats the purpose.
Exactly.
And then a whole whack of sugar gets added.
A whole whack of sugar, yeah. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
What I do and what I always recommend, and I'm happy to provide the recipe for that, it's easy to do, buy some organic yogurt.
Right.
And I'm all for organic. If you want to eat dairy, eat organic.
Okay.
From grass-fed cows. It's so much better.
Okay.
Lower in hormones, no antibiotics in it.
Does it have to be
organic.
Greek?
No, the Greek is
Okay.
just a thicker version.
Okay.
It's a preference.
All right.
Whatever, I usually buy the yogurt when it's 50% off, shortly before expiration date.
Right.
Yogurt doesn't really have an expiration date. It just gets a little sharper tasting.
I saw something on Facebook the other day about how Canadians don't fully understand like best before dates.
I think so.
Yeah, but that's another show.
Yeah, definitely. And what I do is I take a little bit of the yogurt, add some frozen fruit puree.
Right?
Well, it's no longer frozen. That I thought. It was
Yes.
previously frozen fruit puree.
Exactly.
But no sugar, and add some chia seeds.
right.
And then I
Yeah.
let it stand in the fridge overnight.
Okay.
And in the morning, it's a gorgeous fruit chia pudding yogurt.
Yum. That sounds good.
It is delicious and easy to make.
And if you wanted it a little sweeter, you could always add like raw honey or maple syrup.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or even monk fruit or erythritol is not too bad as
Okay.
a supplement, or stevia.
Stevia, right?
Yeah. And stevia erythritol mix, you actually can buy that in the bulk barn if you
Okay.
want something that's not that high in cost.
Right.
It's always a concern.
Right, because stevia is a tricky one because there's some not so good forms of it. So you have to be careful with what you're buying.
Many people don't know you can grow it in your garden.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, stevia is an herb. You can grow it in your
Okay.
garden and then harvest the leaves,
Okay.
dry them, make your own powder. Yes, it has a little aftertaste, but you know it's all natural.
Right, exactly.
It's actually easy
That's a
to
good
grow,
idea.
like basil or
Yeah.
parsley. No
Okay.
different.
I got to keep that in mind.
That's
Gonna
fun.
add it to my garden.
Yeah, sure. And even if you don't have a full garden, but the balcony, put it in a pot.
Exactly. That's
And
right.
even if you eat the leaves raw, they're delicious.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. Of course, supplements are always possible if you can't eat properly. One of them is acids, as we talked in the first half, is one of the most important supplements.
That's right.
Whether you eat any kind of vinegar, and I wouldn't recommend too many pickles. Yes, they contain vinegar, but really the vinegar is contains sugar a lot.
Okay.
Most pickles contain more sugar than vinegar.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
So if you want apple cider vinegar, for example, tastes delicious if you mix it with a little apple juice. And have it in a glass of water in the morning or before meals.
Yeah.
Well, you get used to it. It's really
not too
tasty.
bad. No, especially diluted.
And as we said in the first half, betaine wouldn't be too bad.
Exactly.
Probiotics are the big hype.
Of course.
What's important is that the probiotic reach the regions of the bowel where the bacteria are, which is the large bowel, the end part.
Okay.
There's hardly any bacteria in the stomach or in the small bowel.
Okay.
They belong in the large bowel, and usually they are there.
Okay.
And so they have to be resistant to acid and resistant to alkaline.
Okay.
So they have to be encapsulated or it doesn't work well.
That's right.
Or they have to be bacterial strains that are selected to be acid resistant.
So we would need at least 5 different strains?
Yeah, otherwise it doesn't make sense because everybody is an individual. That's often forgotten in modern medicine. Not always, but everybody's individual. And we know that nobody's microbiome is identical. Not even identical twins. They have a different gut bacteria. Sure. So we have to offer the gut a menu to choose from.
Exactly.
And one strain, like in some probiotics, it's only one strain. It's not enough. And that's why yogurt alone is often not enough. It contains one strain most of the time.
Exactly.
It's better to eat the raw sauerkraut, fermented foods, as we said, or kimchi, raw kimchi. Cooked sauerkraut or sauerkraut that's previously cooked in a glass is no good. It's a nice fiber, but it's no longer probiotic.
Okay.
You can make your own quite easy.
Right. Yeah, there's not much to
it. Really, all you have to do is take the shredded cabbage and let it sit. Put some salt on it and let it sit.
Exactly, and then just crush it up and get the...
Let it sit and bake.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Mix it a little bit. I did that a few times and it's fun. Easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can do different versions. You can put herbs, spices in there if you want.
I made some with ripe cabbage. It's delicious.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Now, that's the probiotics.
Right.
5 to 10 strains is ideal. Often forgotten are digestive enzymes.
Exactly.
Those are important for people that can't break down food properly because, for example, they have to take the antacids. They have to take other medications. Even hormones can cause a breakdown of problems, or they have their gallbladder removed, or they have problem with their pancreas, and they can't digest fats properly. They need digestive enzymes, and they can make a big difference.
So where would one get digestive enzymes? Like what form do they come in? How do you take it?
They come in pills like any supplement, and you have to be, of course, you have to look for the right form again.
Of course.
So depending on what you need different enzymes. Some need enzymes that break down lactose.
Right.
That's well known for people that are lactose intolerant, otherwise they bloat. But they can take lactase, which is a digestive enzyme, in a pill. And it works. The same with beans. Everybody knows that famous supplement that helps break down the starch in the beans. That's a digestive enzyme. That's all that is.
Okay.
So those are the 3 most important types of gut support. Probiotic, digestive enzymes, and vinegars.
Right, exactly.
And important always, test. Look for the cause.
Oh my goodness, that's a big problem with modern medicine, is that often the symptom gets treated, not the patient.
Yeah, they don't really drill down to the root much.
No,
sometimes we do it, but sometimes it gets neglected.
Exactly.
And there's so many different causes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we talked about many different ailments that can be caused by poor gut health.
Yeah, either that.
You never think of it.
Or there's other ailments that can cause your gut to malfunction.
That's right.
And even
That's right.
if you eat too much glyphosate, which we talked about at length with Michelle Palmer.
Right.
He is a wizard. And the glyphosate is an antibiotic.
Right.
And it's in all our conventional food and even in some organic foods.
That's right.
Because it's in the rain. It's in the water. It's everywhere.
That's a scary one.
It is very scary. Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you so much for being with me, Jennifer. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And as I said, please don't hesitate to contact us with any questions, thoughts, comments, or suggestions. The best way to contact us is through our website, docchristine.com, or send us an email at info@docchristine.com. I also want to extend a special thank you to today's producer, Jim Francis, and his lovely assistant, Hannah. Thank you. You might not know this, but this is a volunteer-run non-profit radio station. And we even have an art gallery and a concert hall. If you're local and you'd like to drop in, we are at 11 Glendale Avenue, Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia. Thank you all for listening to Healthy Alternatives. I'm your host, Dr. Christine Sauer. Tune in next Thursday at noon on 97.5 CIOE FM Community Radio with live stream on communityradio.ca for the next episode. Goodbye and have a great day.